in Chapter 2, we looked at the difference between secure element and host card emulation technologies. In Chapter 3, now we consider the bank perspective and the things that they need to think about when looking at these technologies. So, Hervé, we discussed the differences between secure element and host card emulation. So, from the bank perspective, is it security that's the main issue for them?
I don't know if it's the main issue for them, but this is definitely a key, let's say, difference between the two technologies. So this is the main topic to take into consideration to make the choice between one technology or the other.
Right. And when banks are considering, I mean, there's so many options with all the technologies, when they're looking at all their options, what are the key questions that they should ask themselves?
The question is, will I do it myself or will I buy it from another player, another partner? So in other words, for instance, if you choose to deploy an NFC application, then you will have to put some mechanism in place to distribute, so to deploy the application, but also to manage the transaction and to manage the life cycle of the application. So the question is, do I do it myself? So it's a job. And second, this has a cost. So the question is, will I mutualize this cost, so share the cost with someone else? So the question is, I will do it myself or with a partner?
So you said one of the main questions that banks have to ask themselves is whether to do it themselves or get a third party to do it. So what are the pitfalls of getting someone else to do it, and what needs to be considered?
It's then again we have to find something that is well balanced, so where everybody will have a role to play and will get a part of the cake at the end. So it means that this has to be a win-win ecosystem.
Okay, and then what about the pitfalls of doing it yourself with the HCE model?
You will have to reinvent everything that has been done before. So meaning you will have to reinvent the infrastructure to be put in place. You will have to go through new certification process, interoperability issue. So I would recommend at the moment to reconsider the option of using the secure element, even if this secure element is controlled by, managed by someone else, because it's simpler. Infrastructure is already in place. You just have to use it.
And is there a difference whether it's a low-value transactions or high-value transactions?
Definitely yes, because as I mentioned, HE could be, let's say, a very good option for replacing low-value transaction or application. But as soon as you are looking to higher value transaction, then secure element is mandatory. But even with a low value transaction, you could be in a situation where you will need an hybrid approach, so something in between, because you will start with HE using the tokenization, for instance. But as soon as you will need to download some tokens, then a strong authentication could be required, and this is definitely a role to play for the secure element.
And what about regional differences? Is that a factor?
Yeah, there are some differences. For instance, for the for the presence of the different players or the reach or the fragmentation of the market. There are some differences. But we hope that countries will learn best practices from the other, and then in the future that this difference between the different regions will be less and less important.